Sealbar repair. And these are all the tools and parts, components that you're going to need to do that. Okay, first step we want to do is we're going to test the bar to make sure that it's faulty or there's some issue with it. So we're going to put our meter on continuity. Take your leads. You're going to touch the ends right here on the barrels, the seal wire holders on each end of the seal bar, and see if you get a tone or if you have continuity. If you do not, then you have a broken element. The next step is going to be to take the film clamps off by removing all these screws on both sides of the seal bar. Move your film clamps off to the side. All right, next step is remove the top Teflon tape. Peel it back. As you can see, we have a broken element. Next, using an Allen wrench, you're going to remove or loosen the set screw that you can see inside that's attached to that barrel right there. We'll go ahead and take it out. Okay, next we're going to remove the element, and there's going to be a number of components in here: spring, piece, your set screw, and the C-plate. Those are the main components that are in an end block, with the exception of this barrel that's right here, you can see. Next we're going to repeat that on the opposite side of the seal bar. Loosen the set screw. Pull the wire out. We'll end up with 2 of each of these items. Next step is we're going to remove this under tape. It's not always necessary, but in this case where the element broke, it damaged the tape. So we want to make sure that we remove this tape and replace it, because you could get a short from the element to the bar in this location. If the tape is undamaged, it's not necessary to change it. Okay. So we're going to reapply the Teflon tape to the seal bar, line it up on the edge there. Make sure we cover the bar completely all the way to the end. Do a little bit of a press, make sure it's firmly on there. Next, we're going to remove the excess tape, Teflon tape, that's hanging over the edge of the seal bar. Any extra tape might be hanging over the edge. One thing to make sure before you put your element and tape on is to make sure there's no residual tape or glue from the old tape right through here. If so, take your acetone with a towel and just wipe it down and clean it really good. Okay, next we're going to reassemble the end block set, starting with the set screw. Put that back in, right into the hole there. Screw it in. Don't screw it in all the way, just get it started. Okay. Next, you're going to put in this C-plate right here into the slot where the wire goes. And I take my screwdriver and I make sure I hold it right there so it doesn't go all the way through. It just holds right in the middle. All right, next step is to put this plate, this L plate, back inside. Make sure that the beveled edge of this plate is down and the squared edge goes into the wire holder. Put your screwdriver right here to hold the C-plate in place so it doesn't come out when you try to slip that underneath there. And put it right in place. Like that. Okay. After you do that, you're going to go ahead and tighten your element a little bit. Keep it in place and hold that in all the way flush and straight up. Now just back off a little bit on the screw so we have room to put our element. All right, next we're going to insert the element. The element's going to go between that C plate and that L plate. You slide it in, and you have to make sure, looking right down inside here, that the element does not contact this screw, or you'll get a short across here to the bar. So we want to just put it in about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch at the most, and take your Allen and lock it in. Okay, do not over tighten this screw. If you over tighten the screw, you'll spread the gap on this barrel right here, and it'll jam the barrel. The barrel needs to be able to move. Now that you have that locked in, we're going to replace the spring. So we raise this up, slip the spring into the hole right there, push it in, and let that go back down. Now we're going to wrap the element around, flip the bar back over of the other side. Okay, first we're going to reinstall the barrel like we did on the other side. Get our set screw, prepare our set screw, and get it started. Same thing as before, we're going to put our C-plate into the hole, into the barrel. Put your screwdriver right there at the end so it doesn't slip all the way through. Get our L plate with the bevel edge down. Slip it underneath. Right there, like that. Okay, and in this case, it's a little bit different. This one we're going to go ahead and put the spring in now, as opposed to the other side we waited until after, but this one we're going to put it in right now. It's a little bit more difficult to put the spring in when the element's wrapped over. So okay, we'll put that spring in right there and do it now. Now we're going to take our element, wrap it over, go in between the L plate and the C plate as we did before in the other one, push it through. Now this time we're going to bring it up and bring it out. Okay. Okay, so now we got the element through. We're going to pull up and pull the slack out of there like that. You have that excess right there, which is fine. We'll leave that for now. Okay, now we use a element tightening tool. It's just a rod with a slot. We slip over the element like this, and we're going to tighten the element just by turning this, and then we take our Allen, put it in the screw, in the Allen screw, pull it straight up, and start to tighten the element. Once you get the element tight, and your screw is straight, right there, do an inspection on your element to make sure that everything's riding in there, nothing's out of position. Make sure everything's tight. Now we're going to tighten that screw. Now that we've tightened the set screw, we'll go ahead and remove our tool. And you remove the excess element. Just cut it off. Now you flip it over, and we're going to work on reinstalling the Teflon tape. Okay, after you cut the element off, make sure you take some pliers and you give the end of this element a little bit of a bend and push it back in there, but make sure it doesn't touch that screw, but you don't want it to stick out either, so that's why I fold it over and bend it down so it doesn't come in contact with either that screw or the outside of the Sealbar. Okay, next step is we're going to replace the top Teflon tape. This is a 55mm by 10mm Teflon tape. Start by removing the backing of the tape. Start it right at the very end and centered on the Sealbar. and hold it right there. Then you work your way to the other side and center it down. Then give it a press all the way across. Make sure there's no air bubbles in there. End to end. You're satisfied there. Start in the center and fold it right down the middle. Start creasing it as you go across. And work your way back the other way. This is some thick tape, so you gotta work it a little bit. Okay. Fold it down, press it on so it sticks, and start working your way down this way. You've replaced the top tape, you're going to cut out these contacts to make sure that they're not covered by the tape, and remove the excess tape. Do that on both sides. There you go. And we'll do the same on the opposite side. Okay. There's a trick to these now. Next, we're going to go ahead and locate all these holes where those screws were, and we're going to give them a punch. And we'll turn. We're going to finish up these last couple of holes here so we can mount our film clamps. Okay, in order to save time, I like to set up all my screws and washers ready to go, and there's a washer, a split washer and one screw for each of these holes. We'll take one of our film clamps. You can set it right, line it up, get it started. Take a drill, forward, and don't screw it all the way in tight. Okay. In fact, I highly recommend you do one end and then you do the other end. And just leave it like that. All right, now one by one, you're going to put all the screws in and you're going to tighten them all this time. Finishing the last screw on the film clamp, and the next step is going to be to clean all this extra Teflon off. Take your knife right here, make a little cut, one on each end. Right here. And you're going to just take your knife, go along the edge of the film clamp. Take all that extra tape and remove this piece here. You can do that. Okay, now you're going to do it on the opposite side the same. And I'll tell you why the tape on the opposite side as well, and the reason you need to make sure this tape is removed is because when the seal bar is up in the lid, in the channel that holds it, this tape will bind and it'll jam inside there. So this has to be removed on both sides so that it goes in freely. So we'll go ahead and remove this side. Okay, after you've removed the side tapes on here, the seal bar is complete, it's finished, new tape, new element.